Perhaps one of the most important aspects of dedicating just 10 minutes a day is that it helps you reconnect with yourself. In our busy lives, it's easy to become disconnected from who we truly are, from our deepest desires, and from our inner wisdom. By setting aside a few minutes each day for introspection, mindfulness, or simply focusing on your breath, you create the space for self-reflection. You allow yourself to slow down and tune into the present moment. This is where the real magic happens when you reconnect with yourself. You access your inner potential and align your actions with your true desires. In addition, small daily practices are more sustainable than big, sweeping changes. Trying to make drastic changes all at once can often lead to burnout or frustration, especially when the results don't come as quickly as we'd like. But when you take it slow and steady, making a small but meaningful commitment every day, you build momentum that carries you forward. Over time, those 10 minutes begin to add up to something much bigger than you initially imagined. It's like planting a seed and watching it slowly grow into something magnificent. You may also notice that, after a while, the 10 minutes you commit to your practice start to become more than just a daily ritual. They start to feel like something you look forward to, something that enriches your life in ways you hadn't anticipated. This shift in perspective can be incredibly powerful. It transforms the act of dedicating time to yourself from something that feels like a chore into something that feels like an essential part of your daily routine, like eating or sleeping. It becomes a non-negotiable part of your day because you begin to realize just how much it nourishes you. It's crucial to remember that transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it's often a quiet, gradual process. The changes you are making may not always be visible or dramatic in the moment, but over time, the shifts begin to accumulate. The small, consistent efforts you put in every day begin to stack up, creating an internal foundation that supports lasting transformation. What's most exciting is that the impact of these 10-minute practices can extend far beyond the 10 minutes themselves. The shifts you make during that focused time can reverberate throughout your day. A short session of mindfulness or breathing exercises can help you approach challenges with a calm and centered mind. A few minutes of visualization can help you stay focused on your goals and keep you motivated. Small actions can lead to big results because they create a ripple effect in your life. As you continue to show up each day for these small, intentional practices, you'll begin to notice subtle yet powerful changes in your life. Your thoughts will begin to shift, your habits will start to transform, and you'll experience a greater sense of peace, focus, and purpose. And all of this can be achieved in just 10 minutes a day. The truth is, you don't need to dedicate hours of your time to see meaningful change. What you need is consistency, commitment, and the willingness to show up every day, even for a short time. When you do that, you tap into your own power to create transformation and cultivate the life you truly desire. By dedicating just 10 minutes a day to focused, intentional practice, you're taking the first step toward a new version of yourself. It's a small commitment, but it has the potential to change everything. The key to this process is not perfection, but consistency. There will be days when you show up and feel distracted, disconnected, or unmotivated, and that's okay. The beauty of committing to 10 minutes a day is that it allows you to begin again every time. It's not about getting it right every time, but about showing up with the intention to improve, to engage, and to invest in yourself. That 10-minute practice doesn't need to be flawless or perfect, it simply needs to be consistent. It's also helpful to think about the ways in which this 10-minute practice can align with your larger goals or desires. Are you trying to reduce stress and anxiety? Consider spending 10 minutes a day practicing mindfulness or deep breathing exercises. This will help train your body and mind to respond more calmly to stressors, building your capacity for resilience over time. If you're looking to improve your physical health, you could dedicate 10 minutes to a short workout, stretching session, or walking meditation. Small, consistent efforts toward your health goals add up in ways that you may not immediately notice, but over time, they begin to compound and show up in your overall well-being. Similarly, if your goal is to change your mindset, 10 minutes each day spent focusing on gratitude, affirmations, or visualization can shift your internal dialogue and belief systems. When you commit to this practice, you're retraining your brain to focus on the positive and to visualize success, rather than holding on to negative beliefs or fears. By shifting your attention and thought patterns, you begin to create new neural pathways that support your desired outcomes. Even though 10 minutes is a small amount of time, you may find that as you progress in your practice, you begin to crave more time. That's because the practice itself starts to feel rewarding, and your brain begins to associate it with positive emotions and outcomes. This is another example of how neuroplasticity works. As you repeat a behavior, your brain begins to reinforce it with positive feelings, making it easier and more enjoyable to continue. The beauty of starting with 10 minutes is that it takes away the pressure of feeling like you need to do more in order to see results. It removes the belief that significant transformation requires an immense amount of time and effort. By focusing on small, attainable steps, you create the space for progress without overwhelming yourself. This is especially important when you're trying to create new habits or shift old ones. The initial resistance we often feel toward change can be diminished when we start small, making it more likely that we'll stick with the practice over time. When you commit to 10 minutes of focused time each day, you're also cultivating the habit of discipline. Discipline is not about rigid control or forcing yourself into a mold. Rather, it's about making a commitment to yourself and showing up every day, no matter what. It's about taking ownership of your own growth and making time for what matters most to you. In a world that constantly demands our attention and energy, the ability to prioritize something that nourishes your mind, body, or soul is a powerful act of self-care. The idea that small, consistent actions can create profound changes in our lives is a concept that has been emphasized throughout history, whether by ancient wisdom or modern science. When we think about making significant changes, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the enormity of the task. We might think we need to make drastic, sweeping efforts in order to see any kind of real transformation. However, the reality is that we don't need to overhaul everything at once. Sometimes the most profound shifts come from dedicating just a small amount of time each day, even as little as 10 minutes, to a focused and intentional practice. Imagine if you could improve your life, your mindset, your emotional well-being, or your physical health by committing just 10 minutes a day. It seems so simple, so manageable. Yet, this seemingly small investment of time can unlock the power within you to create change on a deep level. The idea that we can rewire our brain, change our habits, and shift our mindset with just a few minutes each day is not a far-off dream. In fact, it's based on real science. Our brains are highly adaptable. They are constantly forming new neural connections and breaking down old ones in response to the stimuli and thoughts we encounter daily. This phenomenon is called neuroplasticity, and it means that the brain has the capacity to reorganize itself, forming new pathways that support new behaviors, thoughts, and habits. The idea of dedicating 10 minutes each day to transforming your life can be powerful because it taps into this principle of neuroplasticity. By consistently engaging in a specific mental or emotional practice for just a short period of time every day, you are actively reshaping your brain and creating the conditions necessary for lasting change. It's easy to underestimate the power of 10 minutes. 10 minutes doesn't seem like a lot of time, especially when we're busy or feel like we have a million things on our plates. But when we think about how much time we spend on other activities scrolling through social media, watching television, or worrying about the future, it becomes clear that 10 minutes is a precious yet easily accessible resource. If you take just 10 minutes each day to focus on cultivating a positive thought pattern, engage in a mindfulness practice, or reflect on your goals, you'll begin to notice subtle shifts in your thoughts, your actions, and your overall outlook on life. It's important to understand that the power of consistency cannot be overstated. Change doesn't happen overnight, and it's unlikely that a single 10-minute session will result in a complete transformation. But by showing up for yourself every day, even for just a brief period, you are sending a message to your brain and your body that this new behavior, This new mindset is important. Over time, your mind begins to adapt to this new way of thinking or being, and this small effort starts to compound into significant, lasting change.